Hello. You know that newspapers are the most important source of news. And we read daily newspaper headlines to you in this channel. Has a new Cold War started? Doesn't the United States have a clear plan to reopen? Watch this video to the end to find out what the biggest American newspapers have written.
The New York Times.
Hot zones shift showing threat is far from over. With declines here and increases there, a virus tightens its deadly grip. In New York City, the daily onslaught of death from the coronavirus has dropped to half of what it was. In Chicago, a makeshift hospital in a lakefront convention center is closing, DMED no longer needed. And in New Orleans, new cases have dwindled to a handful each day. Trials of a Pennsylvania street as contagion and fear sped in. Just off Wyoming Street in Pennsylvania, working-class city of Hazleton, Lori Sorensen and her husband, Emil, lugged groceries from a pickup truck upstairs to her parents' wood-frame home. FEMA supply effort tangled by Kushner team. Response to outbreak grossly inadequate, complaint says. Mystery illness linked to virus sickens young. One child, 8 years old, arrived at a Long Island hospital near death last week. His brother, a Boy Scout, had begun performing chest compressions before the ambulance crew reached their home. No fans. No food. No high fives. Play ball. On a balmy Saturday night at one of Taiwan's largest baseball stadiums, the floodlights flickered taut, and the players took their positions.
USA Today.
In peril, but still feeding America's essential workers across the USA know they're risking their lives. And they know some won't make it. John Deranami knows what danger looks like. Defying Governor, Georgetown waits. We'll decide when to reopen, people here say. For Elaine Williams, the coronavirus couldn't be more personal. Pandemic fallout. A new Cold War? US-China tensions are growing amid the crisis. President Donald Trump has accused China of a coronavirus cover-up, suggested the government may have allowed the disease to spread, and threatened to extract a substantial price from Beijing for the pandemic. Chinese officials have charged the Trump administration with willful ignorance, dangerous mismanagement, and even attempted blackmail. The near-daily bomb-throwing between leaders of the US and China, the world's two biggest economies, has alarmed national security experts, who fear a new Cold War is brewing between the two superpowers at a moment of global crisis.
The Washington Post.
Poll. Americans deeply wary of opening economy. As forecasts worsen, most favor limits. White House weighs ending task force, citing progress. Americans remain deeply wary of eating at restaurants, shopping at stores, and taking other steps to return to normalcy, a poll shows, even as the White House is contemplating shutting down its coronavirus task force. A shadow pandemic. Mental health crisis looms. Anxiety, depression rise as some U.S. clinics are on the brink of collapse. 3 months into the coronavirus pandemic, the country is on the verge of another health crisis, with daily doses of death, isolation and fear, generating widespread psychological trauma. Volunteer skills are faulted in Kushner effort. The coronavirus response, being spearheaded by President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, has relied in part on volunteers from consulting and private equity firms with little expertise in the tasks they were assigned, exacerbating chronic problems in obtaining supplies for hospitals and other needs, according to numerous government officials and a volunteer involved in the effort. Anti-vaccination activists seize on coronavirus to revive agenda. As scientists around the world race to develop a vaccine for the coronavirus, the pandemic is also stoking a surge of activity among activists who argue that such a vaccine must be resisted. Competing factions press Biden on running mate. Black Democrats, liberal groups push their preferences for his pick. U.S. denies role in alleged Venezuela raid. Details are murky after arrest of 2 Americans who arrived by boat. An apparent attempt to invade Venezuela involving several Americans remained shrouded in confusion Tuesday, as the two countries traded accusations but offered little new information about the mysterious mission.
Los Angeles Times.
Health officials stress caution as California starts to reopen. Experts fear continued high numbers of cases, deaths if restrictions to stay-at-home orders are lifted too quickly. California is seeing signs that the increase in coronavirus deaths and hospitalizations is slowing, but there remains wide debate about whether the progress is enough to dramatically ease Governor Gavin Newsom's stay-at-home order, rattling the food chain. Farmers, distributors and sellers in California, a leading U.S. producer, are scrambling to adapt amid pandemic. Near downtown Los Angeles, a meat processing plant ramped up production, even as it worked to keep frontline employees separated from one another. In Taft, oil slump is one of many gut punches. The economic fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic is slamming cities and towns across the state. Trump seeks distance from crisis. White House task force looks at handing off coronavirus work as some predict surge in COVID-19 deaths. Although the COVID-19 pandemic is far from over, the White House plans to wind down the task force that is guiding the federal government's response and hand off responsibility to individual agencies, a move aimed at distancing President Trump from potentially unpopular public health decisions as he shifts his focus to the economy and his re-election.
Chicago Tribune.
Road to reopen mapped out. Pritzker lays out 5-phase plan, but warns that spike in virus numbers could force change. For weeks, Governor J.B. Pritzker has been under mounting pressure to reopen the state he shut down in an effort to curb the spread of the new coronavirus, insisting all along he would be guided only by science and data in lifting restrictions. COVID-19 cases jump in Latino enclaves. In some communities in state, physical distancing is a privilege. As a wave of coronavirus infections spreads through Latino neighborhoods in Chicago, one health site in Little Village has seen people so sick with the new coronavirus that they've passed out while waiting to get tested. Virus drives stake into supply. Local shoppers face buying limits, higher prices, fewer choices at meat counter. Chicagoans looking to fire up their grills should prepare for higher meat prices and restrictions on how many chops, steaks or burgers they can buy. Hanging up apron to don nurse's scrubs. She put Edgewater Bakery on hold to return to healing. As the coronavirus spread, Kate Merrill felt a responsibility to shutter her Edgewater Bakery temporarily.
The Wall Street Journal.
Trump explores ending pandemic panel. Talk of disbanding task force comes as new projection sees deaths doubling across U.S. The Trump administration is considering disbanding the White House's coronavirus task force, administration officials said, as the virus continues to spread around the country, and a key model projected that the current number of U.S. deaths could nearly double this summer. Health crisis slams Disney, but more bloodletting ahead. The empire Robert Iger built at Walt Disney Company ruled Hollywood last year, with box office blockbusters, capacity crowds at theme parks, and new streaming service with subscribers in the millions. Offices prepare to reopen with new surveillance tools. Technology will measure staff proximity and track workers' health. Many Americans heading back to the factory and the office as the coronavirus pandemic eases will soon notice that their every move is being watched or recorded. Imprecise data muddy virus death forecasts. The near doubling of coronavirus death predictions in a closely followed model this week underscores a frustrating reality for officials weighing how and when to reopen society. Many basic facts about the pandemic remain unknown. Can you mute that tuba? Musicians try to practice quietly. Performers stuck at home find ways to play on without annoying neighbors. Angela Scariz is preparing her voice for a breakout role as Queen of the Night in a coming performance of The Magic Flute, Mozart's signature opera. The 26-year-old soprano, an understudy for the part, runs through a daily warm-up routine in her Jersey City, New Jersey, apartment. When she's ready to sing, she steps into a bedroom closet and shuts the door.
Thank you for watching us. Subscribe to our channel to receive our daily videos. Have a nice time.